Hello, everyone. Before we dive into today's episode, I wanted to remind you that my book, Drummers on Drumming, is available now on Amazon as both a paperback and an ebook. Based on the Big Fat 5 segment of this podcast, where I sit down with my favorite drummers to discuss the 5 records and stories that shaped their approach to the instrument, this book is packed with insights from the drummers who redefined how we think about the modern drum set. You can grab your copy now by checking the link in this episode's show notes or simply searching Drummers on Drumming on Amazon. So thank you for all the support, and now let's get into the show. What is up? Welcome back to Drummers on Drumming, a podcast powered by Big Fat Snare Drum. My name is Ben Hilsinger, and we're back with another installment of the Drum Panel. And this week we have Jared Shavelson, who just played Coachella with Joyce Manor, and Mike Robinson, who just played Coachella with Slayyter. So we start off talking about festivals and if we hate them, love them, and it just spawns a conversation that didn't hit any of the questions, so I guess there's a few of them, that I sent over in the master list, even though they really wanted to know what the questions were beforehand. We go off in a million different directions, so enjoy, and I love you all. Bye. Where's your Diet Coke, Mike?
It's right here, dude.
Dude, I have a Fresca, which is
oh my
big
god.
deal.
Okay, I used to, when I was a kid, I would always like freeze in the mornings before I went to school. I would like pour Fresca in a bowl, put it in the freezer, and then by the time I got home from school, it was frozen Fresca, and I eat it with a spoon.
I mean, I don't think there's ever a better way to start off an episode. Just to let people know the excitement of what we're about to...
You should try it. It's sick.
All right, well, I have Jared and Mike on the show today, and Jared just played with Joyce Manor at Coachella, and Mike just played with Slayyter, and you guys freaking killed it, so I'm sad I missed it, but I did want to talk about your guys' views on festivals. So do you overall like them? Do you hate them? Do you tolerate them? What's your view and why?
Can I say something really quick before Mike goes?
Yes.
You can say something really quick, and then you can also go first.
No, I just want to say that speaking of festivals, we just played, as you said, Coachella, but who was the first person that I saw at Coachella?
Oh yeah, we ran into each other at like the cart line or whatever.
Yeah.
Jared's walking in off with his fucking Pelican, sweating.
Right there alludes to why I hate festivals, but
Mike is the first person I saw. 125,000 people. I run into Mike right away.
It was great.
You know what I had in that Pelican was just my Yamaha EAD10 because I was like, I want to figure out how to use this fucking thing.
Are you monitoring with that at your shows?
No, I just plug it into my phone so I can have it on so I can make videos and then do nothing with them.
Sick.
Yeah. My favorite pastime is recording myself and then never releasing it too.
Never releasing it.
Dude, but last year I was turned onto it by Gunner, but yeah, I monitor myself now through the EAD10. And
I think that thing is like perfect for that. That seems like the best use for that piece of gear.
I think I'm going to sound really dumb here because I don't even understand what you guys are talking about. How do you use that to monitor yourself when you have in your monitors that are...
Well, I'm saying in the case that you don't have, like, if it's like a throw and go thing and you don't want to deal with getting a drum mix, because that's the thing that takes the longest, right? So, like, you use the thing that connects to the kick hoop, run your output into a 2-channel mixer or whatever, and then you can take a feed from the house into one channel and then your feed from the EAD10 into the other. And then you have...
Yeah, a lot of times coming from Monitor World, I say, give me 0 drums.
Yeah.
And then just everything else. And then on the second channel, I can blend in myself into it.
Yeah, I think that's like just for the throw and go situations or like quick things, especially festivals. I mean, Jared, you're on something where you guys are dialed, so you don't have to worry about it. But like, you know, if I was going into a festival or some, you know, South by Southwest or some shit like that, and you have 10-minute changeovers, throw that thing on, and like if you have click coming from somewhere or the rest of the band in your mix, then...
So you need to have a mixer as well then?
Yeah, I mean, unless you give them an out, like the out goes to them,
yeah,
you know, and then they can feed that through your own system for you. But then I just try and do it at like, I'll do everything myself. This is not going to burden you guys at all. This just makes it easier for me and easier for you ultimately.
Remember when Ben said we would go on tangents here? We didn't even get into the first question. We're talking about E80.
I know. For everyone listening, I sent them like my master list of questions, and I'm like, dude, we're gonna get to 2 of these, so we haven't even gotten to the first. You're right.
Well, you asked it, but we just ignored it.
Exactly. Oh yeah. So art does imitate life.
But no, I've never really understood how people do that. So this is all exciting to me because I'll never do it, just like my videos that I have.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I know that you have told me about it, and I know that it's possible. I just still don't really understand how to do it.
I'm a big fan of just having some sort of safety net like that, like a contingency plan where you're like, this monitor engineer is not getting it, or I don't feel comfortable getting this up and running super quick. So like just having that, is great.
For different songs, I like different things as well. Like with Cannons, because I was using a TM6 with the mesh pads and the RT triggers. And I had them send everything that I liked. My mix was great, but I also then took just the drums out of the headphone amp into a second one. Because sometimes on certain songs, I want a little bit more of myself,
right.
But I don't want to have to like get his attention. So I always try and have myself, whether it's an EAD10 or not, if I have control of it, to turn myself up from like a master switch during the show.
Yeah,
I totally back that. I'm the opposite, where if we're doing a sound check or something, and you're like, "What do you want?" then I'm going to do exactly what you said. This, I want that. But
Sure.
during a show, I could care less. Like,
yeah,
it's just what I very rarely will ask for anything. That's just where it is, and I'll just adjust to it, and like, I'm usually okay without it. If it's possible to mix by yourself, maybe that's a different situation. If I don't have to ask them for anything, I just have to turn the knob because I already have it set up where I'm in control. Then that does seem a little easier.
And you know what to expect. You're not going to be like, God, this guy's snare bottom is so hot or something.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, answer my fucking question.
Jared,
you have to ask again because I forgot.
Yeah, just festivals overall. Are you a fan? Do you loathe that portion of the tour where you have like that little one-off? Like, what are your guys' views on those?
I talk a lot of shit on festivals, but ultimately I always have fun at them. Because it's stressful. I think that's the biggest thing for me is I'm like, especially if you don't get, if you're in the middle of the day somewhere and you don't get a sound check or whatever, and it's usually one of the bigger crowds of, compared to your regular shows. It's usually a little bigger. There's like some pressure on it or whatever, and then all that stuff stresses me out. But I always have fun because my friends are always there, and I'll run into people like Jared like randomly, and
Multiple
you
times,
get to see multiple times, and you get to see your friends play. And I think I talk a lot more shit than I actually mean.
I think that festivals in general it's not one answer, because if you're in the middle of a tour and you're doing a festival, or you're doing a festival fly date, they're totally different experiences.
Yeah.
If you're rock fucking solid as a band and you're in the middle of a tour and you're a headliner doing like an hour plus sets, and then you go to a festival and it's 40-minute sets, you're so fucking solid already, everything, like you can't be thrown off your rocker, like there's nothing better than it. It does mess up the routine, but like if you're doing a fly date and you haven't played a show or rehearsed with the band and it's been months off and you're going into that, it's a high pressure situation because you just have a lot of trust that everyone did a little prep work ahead of time, and you're kind of going in cold, like that those are a little harder, and those are, I think, what most festivals are. So I think as a whole, I would say festivals are more stressful than they're, but in this situation for me, like we just took a week off a tour or 2 weeks off a tour to go do Coachella. I couldn't feel any more confident, going into it. And like, it's so much fun. Like Mike was playing and I was able to go up side stage and watch Mike play, work. Like that doesn't happen very often. We just talk about, oh dude, this was so sick. Look at this picture or this video that I took, and we send it to each other, versus this me being able to be there and watch him. Dude, their set was so insane.
It was insane.
Like, that was crazy.
It was
crazy.
crazy.
And I got to like get up on stage and look at this like insanity and watch my friend just like rip this awesome
Also,
set.
side note, you and my friend Amir walked up at the same time in the exact same spot. And I saw Amir first and I waved to him, and then I was like, oh my God, because you were waving back, and I was like, oh shit, there's Jared. So you guys, like, the fact that both of you walked up to the exact same spot at the exact same time, that's like why I love playing festivals,
Yeah, it's so fun.
Do you enjoy playing Like, I know you're happy that Jared was there. I'm not going to say you weren't happy. But if you could choose a drummer who's also amazing not to be staring at you the whole show, would you choose that?
Depends on how I'm feeling about the gig, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
But I like it, man. I always like, especially even if you're on the road, say you're on like a 3 or 4 band bill or something, and you know all the drummers are getting along. It's like when you're 2 weeks in a tour and you're playing an hour-long set, and the other drummer from one of the bands comes out just for a couple songs, you're like, oh, hell, you know, that's sick. Like,
You're right.
It's cool. Like, it feels, you know, knowing that your friends care what you're doing is sick.
Yeah. I don't think I get that kind of pressure as much as I used to, of like having a drummer that you respect or you look up to watching you. I think in the past that would have made it harder and I'd get more nervous.
Yeah.
But I think now, yeah, it's nerve-wracking watching somebody or feeling somebody's eyes on you the whole time. But like, if you think about it, but I also kind of feel it's more respectful than anything these days.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the people that I'm associated with. They're not like giving off a judgmental vibe at all, but I find it to be more of a respectful thing. Like, people are watching because they want to watch you.
Yeah, it's inspiring, you know?
Yeah.
Makes you feel good. And like, I don't know, I feel like I've surrounded myself with the right people that like, I don't think they're coming to watch me to hope that I fuck up or something. Where maybe in the past, like when I was younger, I would probably think that like, oh, this person like is waiting for me to fuck up and I'm gonna maybe overplay just to like show them up or whatever, you know? Now it's like Jared and Amir, like that. I know you don't know him, Jared. You guys are standing right next to each other. He's like an insane drummer. He's the one that got me on the Oliver Tree gig. He's like one of the craziest fucking drummers I know. So to see him just like, you know, sitting there like headbanging during our set, I was like, this is fucking tight. Both of you guys,
That's
you
awesome.
know.
I'm sure you sounded fucking solid when Jared was watching you as well.
I hope so.
It was sick. It was so good.
I missed Jared's set because I hadn't eaten anything all day and I went to catering because I was dying. But this week, you know, we'll be there. It'll be the same schedule again, so we'll be there on the same day, and I'll get to actually go check it out.
Maybe you can get hungry at like 4 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock.
Yeah, what the hell, Mike?
Listen, man, I
guess it's called food on tour, not watch your friend's side stage on tour. So it's...
I had to pack up my shit, and then we, you know, transportation there is like we waited a while for this is my first time playing Coachella. I've been there multiple times, like working, but this is the first time I played it. Getting around there, they are slammed, dude. Like the golf cart lines and stuff are just, it's tough.
Well, therein lies my biggest thing about me hating festivals, is just the administrative side of trying to get just your shit done that day. I'd always rather be in a city where if I want to get something to eat, I can either, you know, something as small as go to the 7-Eleven right around the corner and just get something quick, or actually go to a nice coffee shop. You can kind of dictate your own life. At festivals, I hate being dictated by how available the golf carts or how long I want to walk to get to catering and blah, blah, blah. And also you were talking about audiences, which is different than Slayyter. And I just didn't see Joyce Manor's crowd necessarily, but from the videos with Slayyter, my gripe with festivals is that you're never really playing to your crowd. Maybe like the front few rows are like there to see you, but a lot of times it's people that are like, all right, well, prove that.
Yeah. They've been posted up all day waiting for Justin Bieber or whatever.
Exactly. So it's like it's a bigger crowd than you usually play to, but I just don't feel like the energy's there. Like, I mean, granted, I also like the fact that you have to go, okay, they're obviously here because they're like interested, so we get to win them over, which is a challenge, and I think that's really fun. But like a headline set at a club is just when everyone's just there that knows the songs. There's nothing better than like a crowd that loves your band and is there to like see you.
Well, I think it's also like Jared and I both played. We weren't on like the main stage or one of the main stages. Jared was in a tent and we were in a tent, and that's like kind of different. Like everyone, it's like I feel like those stages are like the destination stage where it's like, oh well, you know, Joyce Manor's playing at 5. Like I gotta go there. You know what I mean? Where I don't think people are really posting up at those places all day like they would at, you know, even for like Teddy Swims played the main stage at 5. I'm sure there were people waiting all day, you know.
I have no idea how big the tents were. Like I couldn't even guess if it was like 2,000 people or 8,000 people. Like I have no concept of that whatsoever. But they definitely just felt like good headliners. I don't know if you do this when you play, but when I play, like I'm constantly like looking in the crowd and like trying to find people that are maybe not sure if they're gonna have a good time or not, and then I purposely like make them a target of like, let's get them into it.
Yeah.
And then once they start bobbing their head, they catch my eye, and like and I'm like, cool, got you. Now we'll go to the next one.
Next.
Yeah, like I do that all the time. We have a job. We have like our job is to create that. Since we're not playing melodically, we create the entire vibe of like the feel of the song. If you can get people to kind of start bobbing their head to something that they're like not sure if they like or not, but they're moving, like you just won them over. Like they'll remember that forever. Like, oh, what am I doing? Like I don't know this, and then they like it. But that's like, if you're playing really stiff, there's nothing for them to bob along to. You can really kind of change very subtle things to like kind of see where you're locking in with the crowd. And to me, it's more fun to like still make the band feel and sound as good as possible, but then also to project that energy exchange with the crowd back and forth. And there's only certain ways that we have to do that, and that's kind of our job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Another thing too is a lot of bands, when I play festivals, that's when their management flies out or there's just more people than usual. Yep. And I really pick up on a lot of people's stressed, nervous energy. And I feel like every festival, I want to go as far away from the trailer as possible because it's always just stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
I get that too. I also don't mind it though. I like to throw myself in the middle of it.
Nice.
It's true. I do. I've gotten to a point in my life where like my job and our jobs do revolve around all that. So ultimately, yes, they're in charge and they're the management and their label and they want to talk shop, all these things, but that's still your home. That's like, you still have your routine. Like the more that you change, the harder the show is going to be. The more you keep everything the same onto what works at any size venue you're playing, the more it feels exactly the same and you're still in control. Like I try really hard to not let different things rock the ship,
Yeah, like disrupting any sort of like schedule or routine or rituals or any of that shit.
Right. Like if that's how it goes, then fine, but you have to work around this because this is my home for the day. Like, and I'm at work.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, Jared, I got to eat dinner at 5 p.m. I know you go on, but
I know. Like
don't rock the boat.
Mike eats at 5:10. Mike eats from 5:10 to 6 o'clock every day.
Pacific time.
Pacific time.
Well, I guess let's go to the next question, which is, what would be if you could cherry pick a tour, what size venues, and also how long would that tour be, but what size venues are like, I would be so excited to do that tour?
For me, I'm really happy in like the 3,000 to 4,000, whatever, 4,500 cap rooms. I think those feel like kind of the best for me. You're not terribly removed from like what you were saying earlier from the center city stuff, but you also are now gaining the benefits of decent catering, a lot of space inside the venue to be able to do your warm-ups and to do your yoga or stretching. You have a solid crew, so you got like enough hands where you don't have to like worry about your guys like working too hard or anything. There's space. There's a big enough stage that you can have your normal show and not like feel bad about keeping your drums set up and not striking for the other bands. There's also like, the gyms aren't usually terribly far. You can get to a gym after sound check. I just find that that's kind of like the perfect size. And then I feel like 3 weeks is a solid run.
Jared just took my exact answer.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same.
It's like the same. I mean, the Say Anything run we just did with Motion City Soundtrack. It's a lot of the same rooms that Joyce Manor just did on your headline run.
Yeah,
and like Brooklyn Paramount and like Fillmore and Philly, stuff like that, where it's like between 2,000 and 4,000. I think is so fun. That said, I love a good underplay. Sure. The first show I ever did with Say Anything was a 300 cap room in Dallas, and it was, they announced it like a few days beforehand. It was just fucking packed out.
There's nothing better than that.
It's so fucking fun.
But a whole tour of that?
No, I don't want to do that unless there's like some kind of crazy plan around it to make sure everyone's like as comfortable as they would be on playing the Brooklyn Paramounts of the US.
Yeah, a whole tour of that is what I've done, and we've all done it for like years and years and years, and it's great.
Yeah, but they're not always sold out.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I guess that is the caveat that
Gotta
these
be
tours
a
we're talking
real
about
underplay.
are going to be good
Yes.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be a true underplay.
But I do think that there's something beautiful in all of that. You're right. So I'm talking from a strictly like long tour, a successful tour aspect. The 2 to 4 that we were talking about, 4,000 people, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's kind of the best because it can still feel intimate. You know. What about you,
What do
Ben?
you think?
Same. I mean, it's just theaters. I think it's just you get to play in some of like architecturally some of the coolest buildings in every city.
Yeah. I always think of like the Fox in Oakland is like one of
Exactly.
the most beautiful rooms ever, you know?
I'm curious if there's anyone that would say arenas, obviously. I don't think most drummers would say that's kind of the most
because
fun.
also like your day changes when you're in arenas, Dale. Not every arena is like city center accessible to, you know, the world around you. And even if it is, it's like pain in the ass to get out of there, and you're going to be walking a lot more. You're going to, you know, it's going to be harder for you to get an Uber if you want to go out after the show or something.
Usually, like, the coffee shop's across the street, great, but you have to walk half a mile to get out of the venue, and then I mean, we're definitely talking insider baseball, but like sheds are the worst. Meaning like 15,000 like outdoor amphitheaters, because they're usually 20 miles outside of town.
Near anything.
I grew up by one of those in Ohio, and it's like there's nothing around there. If I was spending every day in a place like that, I would be like, oh my god. You know?
those tours, I always bring a bike with me when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
because I just need to go out and do something and get away, and like you can't be stuck backstage, because also like a lot of the times those backstage rooms aren't even as nice as the 3,000 cap rooms. You know, like
There's also so many like theaters around the U.S. right now that are either new or have been renovated, and they're just amazing. You know, like going back to Brooklyn Paramount, there's like an arcade and a gym in there, you know?
Yeah, like we just sold that out luckily for the band, but by doing that, we got our plaque put up on the wall.
We got ours up there too.
Yeah, it's so sick, right? Like
it's sick. Yeah, and they make you like, you know, sign it and take photos with it and shit afterwards. And I was just looking at the wall and I was like, this is so awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's a really cool thing. I mean, the Paramount is one of the most beautiful ones that was my first time there, but it's one of the most beautiful ones I've been to.
Yeah, same.
Everyone talks about that. Everyone's like, wait till you play there. It's beautiful. And that's all they say, and that's right. It's exactly It's exactly right. But also, like, it doesn't have a sterile feeling.
Yeah, it feels really cool in there. It's a good room.
But I would even expand my original answer to drop it down to like 1,200 cap to 4,000. I think that's a little more accurate, because you are going to hit those markets where Tulsa, Oklahoma, we played with Sublime, and you know it was 2,200 people. But it's like that's like the big. It was either that or you go to the shed. You know, so like there's no in between. So you kind of have to take it for granted, or take into consideration where you are. Like each place is 2,000 or to 4,000. Actually, like 1,200 could be the same size for them, just due to
3,000 people in New York is like 1,200 in Kansas City.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we just did on the run we did. It was Brooklyn Paramount, and then I think the Kansas City show was Uptown Theater, which is also great. Or like the Pageant in St. Louis. Like those are all great rooms. Yeah.
They are equally as good. It's just what the area has, they work with, and they're going to give you the same treatment. It's not a smaller show necessarily. It's just a different demographic.
Yeah.
Let's get into gear, which I rarely do, but how specific do you guys get with your backline rider?
Oh my God, I'm the worst. And I'm just such a tweaker, you know. I'm like, I don't get easily thrown, but again, like I was saying about sound checks earlier, like if you're giving me options, I'm gonna be like, let's fucking go for everything.
Yeah, it's kind of
if I have options, I assume there's never any real options, so I'm usually like fairly easy, but. Yeah, if I have options, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah, totally. Like, I want to say I'm easy, because in reality, once I get there, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But leading up to it, I'm such a fucking pain in the ass.
I think the biggest pieces for me are making sure the bass drum pedal is right and making sure the throne is not a piece of shit.
What's your throne? Like, what's your shape?
I like just a normal, like, circle... just a normal ass regular like round seated throne. I don't mind like the rock and stock like tractor seat or whatever. On the last run we did with Say Anything, that I had a Porter and Davies, the tractor the
Ooh.
saddle seat or whatever. It was cool, but I'd rather have a round one. Oh, the other thing I hate is when they give you the short little hi-hat rods. I fucking hate that, dude.
Oh, those cute little ones that don't get high enough.
It's the worst.
Yeah. What's your shape, Ben?
Well, it's actually exciting because playing with LP now, they finally asked me for my rider for this gig, and I actually put in preferred Porter and Davies throne. Like I've never just like asked for
Sick.
it. Like I'm just gonna say if you have it, I want it. I'm just a circle guy, just a little circle jerk. Yeah, I'm not very particular. I mean, I view backline as, I definitely am a Rogers artist, and I love what they make. But here's the thing. You can make any snare sound good enough for the gig, for rock. You can make it, I can make a kit sound good. Even though I say I can. But I kind of view it as like I have my hierarchy of what I would want. But if it's a kit I haven't played before, I get excited because I'm like, I've never played a Pearl Masters, this blah, blah, blah. And I just use it as an excuse. Like, I think at this point, I've played probably every line of medium to high-end drum. I mean, minus like an A&F. I haven't played that, but hardware, I'm pretty specific. I want the 9,000 stuff. I want a 5,000 pedal. But other than that, it's kind of just like, if you have this drum, cool. It'll just like, Gunner plays, there's this new Yamaha series that came out. And when I played in South Korea 2 years ago, the backline was, I was the first one to play it, this new Yamaha. I wasn't the recording custom, but it was the same one that I think Gunner is currently using on tour with Pussifer. But it was so nice. And I would have never gotten a chance to play a show with that unless I was just like, shell sizes mainly, but other than that, do your thing. And it was great.
Yeah. I don't really care about the drums. It's always the hardware that's the pain in the ass, you know? The drums are like, I could really care less. Like, I'll figure it out. But if the hardware is not working, like, physically for you, then that's a big issue. If you have to play your bass drum differently than you normally would, that you have for the last however many years, that's a difficult thing to overcome, especially mentally. You know, it's probably not that big of a deal to front of house and the crowd or whatever, but like physically and mentally for you on stage, that's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah.
What is your guys' definition of success? And has that changed over time at all?
Man, I have no idea.
That's okay.
I think now
maybe it'll change over time.
You know, yeah, it changes all the time. I think now it's like with a kid, as long as I can continue moving forward and staying busy, I think that's a success for me.
What does moving forward mean?
Like feeling like, I guess, it could go multiple ways. I guess you could measure it by like size of shows or like size of whatever artist or band you're playing for. But at the same time, I think if I'm maybe making a lateral move from one thing to another and it's playing the same shows, but I feel like maybe the music is pushing me in a different way to like I felt that when I started playing with Say Anything. It was like I was exercising this part of my body and brain in music that I haven't done in a long time. And that felt really good. And that felt like I was adapting and like moving forward musically. But then there's also the financial side of it. Like if you're moving forward financially,
of course.
And you know, I think that's like, as a dad, a very big part of it now too. That being said, I think that I can find joy in playing pretty much anything. I think no matter what the music is, even if I like the songs or don't like the songs, I think I can still find a way I'll be able to have fun playing the music just because I'm playing drums and I'm getting super microscopic and feeling like I'm supporting whoever's around me in the way that needs to be happening. And that's also like that's a hard thing to do, man. Like to do, if you're playing music that maybe isn't something you would listen to right off the bat, and being able to focus and shift your mentality to like really focusing on the music and making it feel good and making everyone feel comfortable around you. I think that's a big skill too. And I think if you could do that, that's a success in terms of being a musician. But then, you know, again, there's the financial side of it for me as a parent.
Totally agree. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I think that word is, I don't know how to say this. I actually think about this a lot. I feel like that word is not even like a real word, you know, like success is like the word perfect. Like it doesn't exist. There's no real definition for either of those words. And if you're always trying to reach a goal of one of those things, you're just setting yourself up to never reach it, because it's a moving target.
Yeah.
I don't know what success is to me. And financial stability is a huge form of success, but it doesn't give you everything. So when you're having a successful year, you feel like you're doing everything right. But you also know that that is not going to remain, and the next year or the year after that, it's going to be different. Tour cycles change. So are you striving to fill the next year the same way, just with a different band? Like,
that's the thing. You have to be specific about your goals. Like, you know, I think that's the real measure of success, is if you're meeting whatever your goals are, then, you know, like I started skateboarding again with my kid. I wanted to learn how to ollie and like do a show. I did those things. That's a success in my brain in skateboarding. But like, you know, now it comes to music and it's like, well, I have to make X amount of dollars a year. I did this last year, so now I want to do this year at least, right? Like, you want to at least do a certain thing. You want to at least continue from where you left off last year.
I would say then, yeah, I think that what you just said helps define success, especially for you. You set a goal, you met the goal.
Yeah.
That's a successful year.
Yeah, and making the goals, man, when I was in business school, I have a degree in marketing. I didn't go to school for music. There was, I forget what this is like a well-known term, I'm sure, but SMART goals. I forget what it stands for, but it's like specific, measurable, attainable. You got to be super specific about your goal is. So if you're like, last year I was playing 500 cap rooms. By the end of next year, I want to be headlining 1,000 cap rooms for X amount of days of the year. Then you made a super specific goal with an end date, with a number attached to it. Then you can measure that, right? But it's not going to be the same thing for everyone.
And also, it's not going to be the same thing for you.
Well, year to year, yeah.
Yeah, year to year, month to month. Like, I find that success 100% in my mind was different than what I lived when I was growing up. I had these things I always said I wanted to do, and I thought that would make me successful, and I don't feel any different. I feel like I'm still that kid striving for this next thing that would maybe have already checked all that off my list.
Dude, I will never forget like the first theater tour I did. We were direct support, and at the end of it, I was like, I had this big realization, like, this is a moving target and it moves quick. You know, like,
yeah.
Okay, now we did direct support in 1,200 cap rooms, 1,500 cap rooms, whatever. By next year, we better be like headlining those rooms, or we better be direct support in 3,000 cap rooms or arenas or whatever. Like, that shit moves really fucking fast.
Yeah, and it's also not only you thinking about it. You're one of the people thinking about it, plus everyone that's at home watching the numbers going, okay, what's the next thing? So the chance of all of you having the same thing in mind is slim enough. I don't know. I think that word is a bit scary to me, success.
It's a really scary word.
I grapple with how specific I should be, because your example of just, 500 cap rooms and the 1,200 cap rooms, there's so much that you have nothing to do with how that happens. Sure. And so it's hard to set myself up for things that I can't control, and then possibly if I don't get there by the next year, but there's so many other points that we did hit and exceeded, but we're just not there yet, then would it still be not successful? So success is when you set an expectation for yourself and then you meet that expectation. And it can be as basic or as specific as you want. For me, I'm kind of leaning towards the more ambiguous things. And to say what Jared was saying, the fact that I asked this question a lot, like, what's your definition of success? It's a good point that if everyone's definition is different, then why are we even using that term as a barometer? So I agree with both you guys.
If your goal is to play music for a living and be quote unquote successful, if you're able to live while you're doing that, even if that means you got to have another job or whatever. I did that for so long. Like, I would still, like, if I didn't have a kid, I would love to have another job while I do this, to just make everything more comfortable. And it would give me the opportunity to be more selective about what I do want to spend my time away from home doing. And that's not in the cards for me right now, like to get another job to just like fund that sort of desire, whatever that is. But, I just don't think that, it's just really hard to look at and be like, yes, I'm a successful musician. But I think if you can live a life in a city like Los Angeles, if you can pay for your life and play music, then, whatever means necessary.
I totally agree. I will say that I do know and I realize and I feel like I am successful. And I feel that way about you guys, both of you, Ben and Mike. Like, we are successful at what we do. But does that mean that compliant in what success really means? Is not at all. But I know for a fact that I am successful and that you are successful, Mike, and you are too, Ben, at what you do and playing music and being a professional drummer and a musician and a cool ass dude to like travel the world with and not make life harder for everyone around you. Like, that's success, you know. But I don't know that there's an ending to it. And I feel like maybe success to me is a bit of a fear, because I feel like if you reach all of those goals, does that mean you have nothing to drive for anymore? Like, but I mean, that doesn't mean that, because success moves, you know, like we were talking about, it's a moving target. But like, I like constantly feeling like there's more to grow, to learn and grow with and grow from. So if you look at everything you've done, and we can make a list of everything that we've achieved, you'd be crazy to think that none of us were successful.
Yeah, totally. I think about like telling like 18-year-old me, you know, the timelines where I remember when I was like 18, I thought like, oh, if I'm not playing huge shows by the time I'm like 24, like I just got to quit. In my head, when I was a kid, you know, I graduated high school, I went on my first national tour right as I finished high school and started college, and I did a semester remotely at college so I could tour. And I thought that if I didn't keep that going consistently and I wasn't headlining, you know, theaters or whatever by the time I was 23, 24 years old, then like that's it. But also, you think about the music I was surrounded by at that time. Everyone in that scene, you know, like the emo scene and pop punk and all this stuff, these punk bands, everyone was really fucking young, dude. All those bands were really young. Like, you look at Drive Through Records, like a lot of those bands were super, super young. So to me, you know, this is just comparing here, which is even worse now in the year 2026 than it was in 2006. But comparison, it's really hard not to compare yourself. And that's what I was doing then. I was like, if I'm not headlining these theaters by that age, then like I have to quit. And now here I am, 37, and you know, this shit just takes a long fucking time.
I never did that. I never set those kinds of goals. I just had the goal of like continuing, like I wanted to just continuously get better and better and better. And better didn't necessarily mean bigger band. It just meant like I wanted to feel like I was excelling and never done learning.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I've reached a certain level where I don't need to learn anymore. You know, like I can learn from anyone. When I've had students and they're like trying to figure something out, like I can learn from watching them figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, like to me, if you lose sight of that, you're kind of losing sight of the whole thing. I know this has nothing to do with success, but I feel like it's all somewhat intertwined with what you were talking about, Mike. Like you set a goal, or when you're younger, like I never thought I'd be playing Rock in Rio. You know, like that's insane. You know, that's crazy. But then it was done, and then the next morning I woke up and I'm not playing Rock in Rio anymore.
Yeah, nothing's really changed.
Nothing's different.
You still hate the way you play paradiddles.
Do you still look back on that feeling?
Do you hate my paradiddles? No. Let's get into this. Hang on.
I told you not to bring this up, Mike.
I hate the way I play paradiddles, okay?
Oh, stop it. Your paradiddles are perfect.
Yeah, because I use them all the time.
I mean, was the Rock in Rio the first time that realization happened?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've played other festivals. We've all played other festivals, you know? Mm-hmm. But when I was growing up, did I know what Mainstream was? I've never heard of it. Is it one of the greatest festivals I've ever played? Yes. It's in Germany. It's awesome. It's like, you know, punk festival, but there's probably 40,000 people. You see amazing bands. It's really fucking cool. It means the world to every single person there. They save up for it. That's like a big thing for them to go to. Why would that be treated any different than people going to Rock in Rio or Coachella? Like it's just as big to them, you know, so you can't diminish any of that. But the amount of times you show up and you play a show or a festival, venues aren't, I guess some venues are goals, like the Trocadero in Philadelphia. That was a goal because it was where I saw my first show.
Nice.
And once I played it, it was the most nervous I'd ever been. it's 1200 cap, but like I'd never been more nervous because that's where I grew up. That's my first stage dive. It's my first everything was this one venue. You know, so the first time I played on that stage, I was super nervous.
Yeah,
but
that
then,
sounds heavy.
Yeah, but then you play Rock in Rio, which you grow up hearing about, and then you go do it, and you're like, holy shit, this is really happening. You get on stage, you see the Ferris wheel, it's nighttime, there's lights everywhere, and then it's done. And then I was just like back in my hotel room like, well, shit.
Guess I'll put on The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't change anything.
It's nothing.
It means nothing. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It not that it means nothing. It does. Like, people don't just show up there for no reason, you know, because that was with Seal, right?
Yeah.
That's like a fucking, you know, you paid your dues, you did your work, you got there.
And I'm so grateful. I'm not talking down on it at all. And I don't want anyone to think that, like, we're saying don't reach your goals, don't set goals. I didn't necessarily say I'm going to play Rock in Rio. I just never put it there as like, I'm going to play Rock in Rio. And then I'm playing it. And it felt incredible. And the energy was amazing. I'm riding high. But then you walk off stage and it's just like a bunch of people in carts, hard hats, get out of the way. They don't care. You're sweaty.
Yeah. Hurry up. Come on.
Yeah. And you're like,
were you able to like sit in it at all afterwards and be like, oh yeah, I just did this and it was amazing? Or were you just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but it didn't just like, that's what I'm saying. I had to look for. I had to take the time and make it happen. It wasn't just like what you would see in a movie. You get off stage, you sit backstage, and you're looking at each other like, guys, can you believe that? It was just like, shit, like that's done.
Yeah, right.
Like that was so nerve-wracking. There was so much leading up to it, and even like going to the stage, there was so much excitement and there's so much building up, and then afterwards, it's just kind of like, I don't feel any different yet.
It's like Christmas as a kid.
Yeah,
you know, you're like all fucking hyped up. And then you open all these presents, and 20 minutes later, it's done, and you're just like, "What just happened?"
I like kill myself with my new Jurassic Park T-Rex.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles blimp that my friend said he had, and he didn't have it. We went to his house to see it, and he told us it popped. Liar!
What a liar!
Fucking liar!
What a piece of shit!
Yeah. So again, I want to take it back a little bit because I really don't want this to come across negative, and I don't want anyone to think that's listening to this that I'm taking any of that for granted. I'm not.
I'm going to edit it with Ben collaboratively to make sure it sounds like you're being super negative. No, I don't think it sounds like you're diminishing at all. I think that like the biggest thing here is it really is not, playing any of these shows is never going to make anyone as a musician truly happy or fulfilled or anything. And I think that it's way more to do with, for me, not like I look so much more at the people that I'm doing these things with. Like, dude, playing Furnace Fest with Say Anything was like it was such a shit show of a show, but it was so fun, and everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, but we all had so much fun doing it, and like we had a great crowd and everyone was into it. I'll never forget that show, for better or for worse. Like, it was kind of a terrible show, but it was a fucking blast. You're like, I didn't even have a mix, you know. I had click in one ear and just took the other ear out, and like, thank God we have amps on stage. I could hear what was going on. But like, it doesn't really matter if you're around people that you want to be doing this stuff with. I think that's a very big part of it. And if you're happy with what you're doing, with what you're putting out to however many fucking people are at whatever show you're playing, if it's Rock in Rio and there's hundreds of thousands of people or whatever the crowd is there, like, that's, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, like, what the fuck does it matter?
And that's the thing. I enjoy it so much when it's happening that maybe when I get off stage, it's just like a come down from all of it, because all I'm doing is playing. Like, I don't ever want to stop.
This whole thing's a chase, dude.
Yeah, it totally is. Like, we're just junkies and we're getting our fix from something else. Like, it's true. Like,
it's so true, dude.
Yeah, it is.
No, and I want you to feel even more secure about your answer, and because I maybe set you up to maybe sound negative, but I think people listening to this show, they know that what I meant was, it's very common that you have these goals that you set, and then once you get there, even if it was the most rewarding, just it ticked off every box, the show was great, afterwards it feels empty, and it's kind of just, what's that adage, be careful what you wish for, because it just all might happen, you know. It's just like, when you actually accomplish it, you're still Jared. It's a good thing to happen earlier, because then you realize that it really is about just enjoying the moment, because that's all we really have. Not to be on the soapbox, but I've gotten better at not really making those kind of goals. It's almost like a negative feeling afterwards for me.
Yeah, I get that. Well, it's also like, took me this long to get there to play XYZ, now the next thing's got to be even bigger. How long is that going to take? It's like, it's a slog, dude.
I think it's good to blend little micro goals with macro goals, because I still have a few big goals, but they're almost kind of jokey scenarios that it would just be like, that'd be so fun, and the romanticized version of that would be fun if it happened, but it's something that probably won't happen the way I think it is. But then I still have the micro goals. But like the big goal is, one of my favorite bands of all time is The Kills, and when I first moved to LA, I worked at La Poubelle, which translates to the trash can in French, but it's this kind of place to be seen, cool little French restaurant in Hollywood. But Jamie Hintz, who's one of the two people in The Kills, came in like the second week I was working there. And I never told him I knew who he was, but I would always get him wine. And sometimes there was a specific bottle that we'd only sell by the bottle, but I knew that he was going to end up having friends and he'd drink more. So I'd open the bottle for him for a glass and whatever. I have this vision of I'm playing Leeds or Reading or something, or maybe even Glastonbury, just a big European festival, and we like go for the same bun at catering, and I'm there with a band that I'm playing with, and he's like, "You look familiar," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I was the guy from La Poubelle. I always open the bottle of wine for you." And he'd be like, "Holy shit, dude, we have a tour coming up. Do you want to play drums for us?" Like in that specific scenario, I'll be on my deathbed. I'm like, maybe one day,
You've got the rom-com goals.
Yeah, exactly.
It's rom-com music.
Adorable. That's kind of an amazing thing, though, to have your goals are set on having something happen. I mean, let's say it's not that exact situation, but what it seems to me is that you have a goal of you want something to happen organically.
Yes.
And your goal is to have an achievement of playing with a band that you love happen organically. Instead of taking that exact situation, like, if it were to happen any other way, and you still ended up there. Is that the band with the girl Allison who's singing?
Allison Mosso, yeah, she's also the lead singer in
Discount. She was in a band called Discount.
Discount, yes, a little punk band from Florida.
They were such an awesome punk band. And then she also sang, I think she sang on a Hardskin song, which is like an oi band from England. So yeah, I mean, all of that's great, and I feel like the organic thing for you, that's more than likely to be something that happens multiple times in your life and in your career. I just want to know every time it does. Let us know. Like it happened.
Sure, yeah.
Guys, it happened.
And that's the show. If you're listening on a platform that allows ratings and reviews, do that. It helps more people find the show, so it'll get bigger and better, and hopefully I'll have a chance to sell out one day. But you'll be an OG listener that can brag to all your friends. Anyways, why don't you go and check us out at bigfatsnaredrum.com and follow us on all the socials. Just search for Big Fat Snare Drum and you will find us. The show is edited in part using iZotope RX Audio Editor. It's amazing, so go check that out at iZotope.com. And thanks again to Gunnar Olsen for the theme music. Bye!